Greetings, I'm Chevalier and a big welcome to Illustration and Guide of Bosnia. This is part 2, the expansion guide of Bosnia. So, as I said before, Bosnia is somewhat difficult to play as in the early game, but your first attack should be against Venice, by aligning yourself with Hungary and with whomever Venice is rivaled by. Milan, for example, or Aragon sometimes. The People State is a good choice as well, but primarily those are your choices. In the meantime, you should improve relations with Austria. Once you have taken Dalmatia, try to get an alliance with Austria if at all possible. Royal marriage should be possible with Austria. That will get you to -10 if you build up your armies and get more development and get a diplomat advisor guy and some mission for the admin points. That's gonna be golden as well. So be able to get the alliance with Austria. That will mean that you can become part of the HRE and everything is golden. Once you have become part of the HRE, send your diplomats to improve relations with the theocracies here of Mainz, Terrier, and Cologne. And you can also try to improve relations with Bohemia and Saxony, depending on who rival whom. As you can see right now, you can probably get an alliance with Bohemia and get an alliance with Saxony as well. So it's possible for you to become the HRE Emperor quite easily. Now, let's talk about some hypothetics. If you become the HRE Emperor and you have the Bulgarian inheritance, the whole game switches and you basically go into the mid-game phases and you go into the mid-game, so you're gonna focus on killing France and England. It's gonna to some degree turn into an Austria game. To some degree it's gonna turn into an Austria game with you trying to take control of the Italy here, the lands from the Papal State are basically the lands that are not part of HRE, so this 3 here and this 5 here. That means that Italy is gonna stay in HRE, so that's gonna be your main focus. After this, then it's a simple expansion into France, England, Aragon, and straight to the New World with the exploration ideas. But let's talk basically in the off chance that this does not happen. Usually it happens, and if this happens, your game is golden. You're gonna have a huge head start, and everything is gonna be perfect. But in the off chance that it does not happen, let's talk about that. So you've taken Dalmatia and you currently have some provinces here. Focus on fabricating claims on Serbia and expanding into Serbia. If at all possible, try to make sure that you can call in Ragusa by declaring war on their ally. You can not kill them because they are guaranteed by the Ottomans, so you have to circumvent this by calling them into a war at the side of their allies. Usually Albania will be the allies, most likely. Albania and Byzantium, perhaps, depending on the situation there. Now, after attacking Dalmatia is gonna, let's say, pass 5 years, and again 5 years against Serbia. They have a level 1 fort, not in the previous patches where they had the level 3 fort, so taking them over should be quite easy. Now, once you have done this, fabricate more claims on Venice and take lands from Venice. Once you have taken lands from Venice, fabricate claim on the Papal State and take lands from the Papal State. At this point in time, you should probably have enough points, enough trust and favors with both Hungary and Austria to call them in a war against the Ottomans, where you're gonna try to take Skopje and take Macedonia or any other lands that you can release Byzantium and have a vassal there. Then another declaration of war against the Ottomans with the help from again Austria and Hungary, so you can release more lands from Byzantium. So then you can actually annex Byzantium. In the meantime, while these wars are raging on, try to focus on taking lands from Naples. Now, for you to get to the New World as fast as possible, some degree of luck is necessary. You don't have a necessary amount of troops, so you need to have luck. First and foremost, you need to be in Ancona. Like, you need to have the lands of Ancona, so you can actually move into Naples quite easily. Once you have moved into Naples, and are able to attack Naples, and that will call them Aragon. That will pretty much mean that you'll most likely only take Naples, Napoli here, and Messina, those two forts, and then you're gonna have to force them to give you one of their lands. Most likely Calabria or Salerno. Messina is possible as well, and Sassari. It all depends on your overall there it is, colonial range, wherever you can reach. That is the max. So if you can reach the 160, just take it. So once you have taken the closest land to 160, then you have to move against Aragon again and take some more lands, probably Alicante or Baleares, depending on your own luck. Now, this should be done if you have an alliance with Castile. An alliance with Castile should be really hard to get to, mainly because you need to have a decent amount of land and you have quite a decent distance between borders. So what you need most likely is for you to rival Aragon, then you can attack them to some degree. Now, let's say that everything goes well, and in the next, I'll say 50 years, you have taken the lands from Venice, these three lands here, the lands from the Papal State up to Roma, and it's yours. Dalmatia, the lands from Serbia, Skopje, your core here, Macedonia, and basically the whole of Byzantium, all of the lands that are basically part of the Greek culture to some degree, and have a Byzantium core, and more lands from Venice and fed to Byzantium. And also you have Sassari here, as well as Balneares, Alicante, and have moved against Portugal or Castile and taken the Canaries and Cape Verde. Cape Verde being here, just not trying to colonize. So this is going to be probably the next 50 years of conquest. You should not focus that much on Italy. If you're the HRD member, you're going to have tons of manpower and troops. The only thing that you're going to lack is boats, is ships. So that means that you're going to be boats and cash, of course. So you're going to lack boats and cash. Other than this, let's just delve into the mid game. The early game is quite on rails, like there's nothing much more that you can do. If the Burgundian inheritance happens on your own side, it's just gonna be golden. You're gonna have a huge amount of land here, and you might also move your capital to Holland, for example, to take control over this trade node here, so you can get more cash there. If this happens, you're gonna be golden, and you should probably just focus on the Austria on the same gameplay as Austria, for example. Now, let's delve into the rest of the mid game, to the rest of the expansion, the rest of the guide, basically the mid game. So in the mid game, more focus on the Ottomans and taking control of the Constantinople trade node and switching trade route up to Venice. At the same time, a focus on Genoa trade node and start fighting Aragon and taking more lands from Aragon and taking lands from Provence and France, so you can actually have full control over the Genoa trade node. If the Burgundian inheritance event happened, there's no need for you to focus on Genoa. You can just focus on taking the Venice trade node fully, so you can actually control two end trade nodes, one in Venice and one in the English Channel. Now, Ottomans should be slowly killed and annexed, piece by piece. Same goes for Aragon, Castile, and Portugal. This will allow you to control the Mediterranean to a heavy degree, as well as fight France quite a lot. In this patch, as you can see, England has gained 2 provinces with a total of 32 base tax, which is quite high. So that will mean that they'll have a bigger chance of resisting the advances of France. Basically, they're gonna be in more control over their future. Other than this, an expansion into the Mamelukes is warranted as well, but it's an expansion slowly into a blob. Basically, there's nothing much more to say here. Again, if you go for the new world, you should be in an excellent shape with cash and with everything. But remember that some of this is based on luck and is based on the Castilian Iberian wedding not firing, as well as the Burgundian inheritance not firing on your side. There are plenty of variables here, but if you are a decent player, you should know decent. I'll say a high level player, maybe an 8, you should be able to pull this off with relative ease. And yeah, this is the expansion guide. It is quite slow, as you can see. I'm under the weather, and the content is, well, not that complex, mainly because Bosnia doesn't have that many things to say. It's war, a peace, war, peace. There are not that many opportunities that you can actually use, mainly because you are basically boxed in by Austria, Hungary, Ottomans, as well as boxed in by Aragon to the side. The only early expansion is against Venice, and that is the help of Hungary. There are some problems here that have to, well, not problems, but there's a lack of opportunity that you can take. But yeah, I'm Chevalier. Hope you enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this, comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time, guys.